Salvete omnes, salvete amici, nomen mihi est Decimus Aurelius Ingeniarius. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Republic of Rome board game broadcast, brought to you by Nova Roma here on Twitch. We are now looking at episode or session 18 tonight of our board game on the virtual tabletop, brought to us by Tabletop Simulator. What an epic last session that we had. We had our senators take on 3 epic wars, and I guess perhaps against odds, they managed to defeat them all. So we will start tonight in the revolution phase for turn 12, and we'll move on from there to the next phases, the early phases of turn 13. So I'm very excited to see how we go. The players continue to rally and push on. We'll see what happens tonight. If you're watching live, don't go away. We'll transition now to that virtual tabletop environment. We'll be... Okay, we're now in the main playing area of the virtual tabletop environment here, looking at turn 12 revolution phase. Let's do our normal tests and have all of our senators give us a bit of a wave and a salvete. Give us a wave. Very good. Excellent. All right, I'm getting some great and interesting audio there. All right, hopefully we're not too bad. We're not bouncing out too much. Good. Okay, now, as per the revolution phase, we'll look at our cheat sheet over here on the right-hand side, bring that up for everybody to see. Now, as we're noting in this particular game we're running, we're not doing some of the Avalon Hill rules there with the green in particular. So really we're looking straight into the intrigue components where all players can freely trade cards. So I'll give it an opportunity now for all players to discuss any trades of cards that they want to make at this time, or if they've had discussions outside to discuss further trades now, just on the card front. Obviously, money and talents is traded during the revenue phase only. All right, so we'll just give that a moment. All right. And I think if everybody wants to give me a thumbs up once you've had the discussions, if you're not looking to do any trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Numerius Aurelius, you're happy? Good. All right, so everybody's good to continue. No other trades there. Now, let's go in and have a look. So we're going to start with the HRAO, and then I guess we're going to give everybody the opportunity at the moment to play cards from their hands, and that's normally means something like a statesman or a concession. And at this point in time as well, the players as we go around will get the opportunity to disband a legion, a veteran legion that they have, normally newly acquired this turn, for +1 influence and oratory, and then we'll mark that up on the card. Who's not out there? Mark, if you could just mute yourself in the background when we're not talking there, that'll be good. So let us start with the dictator. So I think that's Marcus Decimus. Marcus Decimus, is there any cards that you want to play at this point in time?
Not at the moment, thank you.
All right, not a problem. Now, did you get any veteran legions in that last combat?
That I did.
Very good. Yeah, which is number 5. So the options there for you. Did you want to disband them for 1 oratory and influence at this time?
I will not. Those soldiers are needed for the defense of Rome.
Cool beans. And I guess just a reminder for everybody that if you are looking to disband a legion, you can bring them back only if you are a consul in the subsequent Senate phase, and you'd bring them back for 10 talents from your own personal treasury. So that's how you bring them back online. Otherwise, they will remain as an oratory and influence booster for you until they, otherwise disappear off the face of the earth for, conscription reasons or whatever the case may be. Okay, let's continue around the circle. Numerius Aurelius is next. Numerius Aurelius, any cards that you want to play at this time?
No, thank you.
Cool. Did you have any combat last round? I don't think so. That's fine there. Quintus Octavius, any cards that you want to play at this time?
No, they will not.
Nothing from you. Now, I see a away from Rome marker for Fabius. Is that because he fought, or was he a governor? Let me just double check. I can't remember. No. He was a governor, that's right, so not a problem there. Round 2, Appius Rufius. Is there any cards that you want to play at this point in time?
No, there's no.
None from you. And, of course, round 2, Tiberius Cornelius. I think Julius was out there. It was his second time round. He was much more successful this time. So is there a veteran legion that he acquired this round that you'd like to disband for oratory and influence?
No.
Cool, not a problem. And finally, around to Marca Wedia. Marca Wedia, is there any cards that you want to play at this time? And any? Yeah, too easy. So sounds like we're all good. All right. That's pretty simple then. So let's move on to the next part here. We'll just do that quick scan, make sure nobody's got more than 5 cards. We're all good across the board there, which is good. And then finally we go through this formal process of what we call the Declaration of Rebellion step. It gives each player the opportunity to formally declare as a rebel. And this can include both returning commanders as well as governors out in the provinces. So here, we'll start with the HRAO. Now, you are entitled to do a loyalty check as it states there in the rules before you make your decision. Otherwise, you'll just go, yep, I'm going to hand my forces back, and otherwise any governors that I have are not becoming rebellious, and we can move on. So let us start with the HRAO, who has forces out there as dictator. So Marcus Decimus, will you be handing your victorious forces back to the Roman Republic?
I will be returning the forces to the Republic of Rome.
Very good. So you are now entitled to remove your away from Rome marker, update your vote tallies, etc., and come home, which is great. And subsequently, that will mean the Master of Horse will also return home. So I think, is that Mark Reddy who's the Master of Horse? Who was your Master of Horse? Paulus Macedonicus, I think. Who owns Macedonicus? I think that is... Oh, yeah, that was Marquetti. So Marquetti is away from Rome marker, can be returned as well. There we go. So those two are back. We can get rid of that little marker. And these forces, yes, great. Thank you, Tobias Cornelius. If you can put those back, that would be awesome. So we've got some of our generals back, which is good. And subsequently, that makes it perhaps a little bit more difficult for other players to maybe consider rebellion now that Rome's gaining some of its forces back. Moving around the table, it doesn't look like Numerius Aurelius has any returning commanders or governors, so I'll move on from him. Let's go to Quintus Octavius, who is a governor, I think. Quintus Octavius, are you happy to remain loyal to the Republic at this point in time?
I suppose.
Thank you for your sacrifice. Very good. Let's go around. I think Abius Rufius, I think we're good on your front, are we? Rome Consul didn't fight that round.
Yes.
Good. And then Tiberius Cornelius, I see you're already making some movements. I suspect that you're handing your forces back to Rome, are you?
I am, yes.
Yeah, great. So, go through the process. You can return Julius back to your fold, and all those forces will come home. And then finally, Marco Wedia, you had some forces out there as well. Are you happy to return your forces loyal back to Rome as well?
Yes, I will.
Awesome. And I can aid you in returning those markers away from Rome. So all of our senators return to the nest, which is fantastic after some successful campaigning. That was very good. Got to be very happy with those results from the last game. All right, you're pretty tidy now. Good. I think everything is across the board here. So let's double check our cheat sheet. Make sure there's nothing left. So yeah, really we're doing that check for victory conditions. So we've got no console for lives on the table. Nobody's in that automatic range yet, are they? I'm just double checking, which is what, 35? There's a couple eligible, I think, isn't it? But otherwise, nobody's hit that 35 influence yet. So otherwise, we continue on. The unrest level, yep, it exists. The population hasn't rebelled against us yet. The treasury is still positive. We've got the correct number of wars, which is less than 4 on the table. So good. We get to move into our next turn 13. And into the mortality phase, which is very good. Let's see. What do we have?
Frightening. It's frightening.
Yes, making it through 13 turns in this game is actually a pretty good effort, I think, in a lot of ways. Particularly with some of the things that you guys have faced. Good. I can see the dictator's hand there hovering over the mortality. If you'd like to be so kind there, dictator, and draw 2 mortality chits, please. And we'll see how we go. We've got 26 and 18. That 18 is a bit of a low number. Anybody got 18 out in the field, or 26 for that matter? I see 18A.
18. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's not an 18B, is there? No, but it looks like we have Flaminius will become an elder. Is that correct?
Yes, he will become an elder.
Become an elder. If you'd like to grab him an elder token.
This means he cannot be sent out to a war, right?
Correct. He can't be sent out as a governor or be sent out to war. He can still be elected into positions of office like consul. That's fine. He just can't be sent away to war. So, certainly will continue to worth noting. I think I've got an elder token here. Here you go. There you go. I'll place it on this card for you. Thank you, Dictator. Yep, good to return those mortality chits. And now what we need to do is age the wars. Okay, we also need to not forget that. So we come up here. If everybody could up our wars. So we've got the third Macedonian will become 3, the fourth Macedonian will become 2, and the third Punic will become 3. And I think there's a mortality stage. We're going to activate the imminent war card that's there as well. So we'll bring that across too, which is the Numantine War. So we've got 3 wars back on the deck at this point. So that'll keep us busy. Having 3 wars is never something to discard lightly. Looking back on our cheat sheet here again, we can ignore the rest of the green markers here. All right. From here, I think we're about done on mortality phase. So let's move on to turn 13's revenue phase. So just before we get into doing all the calculations that we normally like to do, we do need to take note of the internal disorder card. Okay, so if everybody looks on the board over here, internal disorder, and it talks about the undeveloped provinces which will have no revenue in this phase. So I guess when it comes to bringing up our little calculator that we like to use for the revenue phase, if you own an undeveloped province, assuming we survive this test in just a moment, please do not select it in your calculator because it won't count for anything this time. Now, let's look up on the map. We can see we've got 2 underdeveloped provinces. We've got Hispania Caterior under Marcowedia, and then also under Marcowedia we have Sicilia et Cyprus over there as well. The others are developed, so they're fine. They're excluded from this first test. But we've also got in the forum Gallia, Cisalpina, and Sicilia. So yes, they don't have governors, but I guess in a discussion we just had previously, I'm pretty confident that they are also subject to this test, even though there is no governor present. And subsequently, we as a collective will roll the required 1d6 here. Yes, they don't have an assigned garrison, so they are a little bit more vulnerable for them to eventually be rebelling and becoming a war. It's just unlucky that this internal disorder was here at the time that we acquired these into the forum. So I think both of these were a rescue from previous wars or internal disorders that they'd succumbed to. So
can I just interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
We've just passed the revolution phase, correct?
We have, yes.
So we have forgotten to do something.
What's that?
The slave revolt is now considered active because the province Sicilia is now in position.
So which slave revolt you're looking at? This has already come up. So remember we had the Sicilian slave revolt active already at one point, and then we've relegated it back to inactive. So I'm satisfied that it doesn't have the same conditions of reactivation again because we've already put it down. So the only way that this war now I see will come out is if Rome chooses to pick it up and fight it. And I guess the motivation is there because it is causing a drought still, even though it's inactive. But I like that you're still looking around at the board because we can forget things like this. But yeah, noting it has already been active, I'm reluctant to then reactivate it again based on its initial card conditions. We can have this conversation. Yeah, we can have this conversation again and review some of the rule sets. And look, if we need to, we can potentially bring it in. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied that it can remain as inactive now.
Yeah, because it technically went out of our control and then it was back into our control.
Yeah, and I guess the rules aren't necessarily abundantly clear on those conditions as well because it's pretty that in its own right is pretty rare for us to dump because it was a provincial combat. Is that what's put down there, right? A governor for it? Yeah, governor victory. Okay, so let's start with Marcowedia. So what we're going to be doing here, Marcowedia, you need to roll a 5 you need to roll a 4, 5, or a 6. Okay, so we need a result greater than 4, but you get a +1 because you've got a garrison legion in both of your provinces right now. So if you can pick up a 1d6 for me. And roll, we've got a 4 good, so that first one's safe. Hispania Cateria is safe. If you want to roll it one more time for me for the other province you've got there. That one doesn't make it even with the garrison. So unfortunately, that means, according to yours, Flaminius we just lost Flaminius. Let's have a look at your deck over here. Flaminius, he's your faction leader, so you'll just need to wipe his tokens, but you'll otherwise get to keep Flaminius as is. He'll lose his money, he'll lose his tokens, but you'll still get to keep Flaminius, which is nice, because he is protected by your faction leader token. Yep, so
he loses all popularity, all influence, everything's gone.
Yeah, so he's essentially, it's a new card again for him now, but you just get to keep him because it's protected by your faction leader. So at least you've still got, 2 votes because of his base oratory and stuff there. It's a shame that you've locked in.
I'm sorry.
You're right. I'll help you out there. And subsequently, yes, we'll lose that as a war. So now we've got 4 wars on the board here. Technically, we'll move Flaminius back over here. Some of the governor cards, and we'll.
It's a tough one too because it actually requires a fair bit of naval support.
I haven't actually looked at it. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, 5 fleet support for that one. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, wow, okay. Now we also need to roll for the 2 provinces in the forum. I'll have the dictator do this as the HRAO. Let's start with Gallia Cisalpina. You need to roll a 5 or a 6, good sir.
6.
Yeah, well done. That one stays safe. Let's do Sicilia next, another 5 or a 6.
5. Dictator comes through.
Well done. That's pretty good. So to lose only 1 from 4 is probably a good outcome, I think. All right. So now let's bring up our revenue calculator and let's do what we do best, shall we? So if somebody wants to bring that up, revenue calculator, there we go. And I'll have we'll tick the boxes that we need to so people can get into there. We're going to type 2 land bill. I'll have somebody do the. How many droughts we got on the board? We've got at least 1. Is there a second drought over here somewhere? Macedonian doesn't have one. No. Third Punic doesn't have one, I don't think.
Because we have one in the active forum, and then we have the slave revolt.
So there should be 2, is that what you said?
I believe so.
Yeah, I agree. We've got 4 active wars right now. And I'll have somebody do active forces in just a moment when they get there. So don't forget your concessions, ticking your concessions, and if you're taking the graft on those, obviously you tick that. Don't forget your provinces, except Marca Wedia will no longer obviously do the Siciliate Cyprus because she doesn't have that anymore, but she can do the other one that she has, Papirius, Hispania Citerior, so you'll be able to tick that one, Marca. All right, so we'll let the team continue to do that.
I thought it was just all undeveloped provinces we didn't get revenue,
Yes,
regardless of the right.
Yeah, so make sure, all undeveloped provinces. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I forgot that component. Yeah, so all underdeveloped provinces we'll just ignore. That's right. So the only provinces we should see selected this round is Hispania Ulterior and Sardinia et Corsica. So who owns Hispania Ulterior? Who's that senator underneath? Oh, that's the unaligned senator. Okay.
Do we have a non-aligned? Oh no, we went crazy. Yes, that must exist. Oh yeah, generic.
Generic. Yeah.
And it's approved.
What's that, Marika?
I'm trying to figure out. You said to tick it, but I was like, all of my people are home. I thought, so I didn't tick anything.
True, you're very true. Everything's taken care of. You should still have Papirius. Sorry, I might have accidentally taken one of your away from Rome markers away, but Papirius is still a ways to go. But otherwise, you ignore his province.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I had a moment there.
That's true. All right, we've got 21 active legions, 7 fleets. So the state is about ready as well. Hispania Cateria doesn't get counted. We'll send that back to grey. So it'll still be counted for the state. No, hang on. It shouldn't be counted at all, right? So we'll just completely unselect it. Yeah, that's what we want to do.
No, it would. It would.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking the other one, the developed one. Oh, crikey almighty.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It's good. Question, always question. I think that's it. I think we're pretty good. Everybody happy that they've got the correct amount of senators selected. They've counted up all their knights. Everybody's assigned their leader. Everybody's got their concessions collectively selected. All right, I think we're good to go. Somebody wants to hit that generate revenue button. All right, so don't forget to look through your receipt to see if anything's happened. And for our governor, I'll do our underlined governor's update. So he'll go to term 2. And it looks like Papirius is going to be returning home anyway this bout, as will Fabius. So both Fabius and Papirius are going to be returning home once they've done all the things they get to do out in the province regarding provincial forces. I'll have somebody update the state treasury when they get a moment. I think Quintus Octavius is usually onto that pretty quick.
Yeah, I just don't want to update it.
Yeah, I can see why. Minus 38 talents to the state treasury. It's not healthy, is it?
You.
Active wars minus 80.
How many active wars did we select?
4.
We have 5.
That's the true. It should be 5. So add another 20 to that talent.
Minus.
Yeah, so 58. Minus 58 from the state treasury.
I have to be honest.
It's getting tight.
All right, guys, make sure you start pulling in deep for contributions to the state.
That's probably not a bad idea.
Just have a bit of a think, guys.
Dear. Let's see. Marquetti is getting 21 talents this evening. Demurus Aurelius is getting 17. Tiberius Cornelius is getting 19. Distributing amongst your senators and your hidden faction treasuries. And then tick that box when you're ready. State treasury got updated. We can tick that box. And we'll wait for Numerus Aurelius to finish as well. I think we removed his issue. I can remove that out of the way. Very good. All right. Perfect. So from here, when we look back at the revenue phase, we can see here we've done all the calculations. We had no rebels. Personal revenues were calculated. A redistribution step happened accordingly. There's no other province development that can occur at this time because of that event card. State revenues was looked at. Debts was looked at. We'll talk about local forces in just a minute before we return our governors home. But let's go around the board first of all and ask about state contributions. So, starting with Marcus Decimus, is there any money you'd like to donate to the state treasury today? Noting the rewards, of course, up here for those playing live or virtually. So, for every 10 talents is 1 influence, 25 talents is 3, 50 talents will get you 7 influence for your senator.
I will not at this stage, but I'm noting it for the Senate that I'm preparing to do games for the people. That way I can increase my own popularity to be ready for our speech for the unrest.
Okay. Very good. Numerus Aurelius, any contributions to the state treasury today?
Yeah, Junius will donate 25 talents.
Junius will donate 25. That'll be well received. Thank you for updating the state treasury. That's already done. We're now at 60. And that's 3 influence for Junius, which is very good. So the state treasury is not looking as poor anymore, which is good. We're back up to 60. So he got his 3 influence. Very good. Let's go around now to Quintus Octavius. Any contributions from you today?
Achilles will donate 10.
He'll donate 10. That's very good. And as we know, that's good for 1 influence, and so that'll bring our treasury to 70. Thank you for updating that again. I appreciate you doing that. That's very good. And he'll come down to 5. And don't forget, he's 1 influence too. Let's go around to Appius Rufius. Any contributions to the state treasury from you, good sir?
Not today.
Not today, he says. Around to Tiberius Cornelius. Any contributions to the state treasury from you?
Yes, Flaccus will donate 10.
All right, Flaccus will donate 10. That's good for 1 influence for him. And then we'll see the treasury go up to 80, which is very good. Very good. Look at all these good donations from the various factions. Well done. It's bringing that treasury back up again. It's been a costly time for us, I think. Round to Mark Guedia. Any state contributions from your senators? She mute? Yeah, she's currently mute. Still mute, Mark Guedia.
Yes, we're going to do 10 talents. Yes.
Flaminius is going to donate 10 talents to revitalise the son of Flaminius. And he'll get 1 influence from that. Treasury will go to 90 now. And he'll get to a total influence of 4, which is good. So that's some state contributions done. Now let's go look at the governor situation at the moment. So he gets to build some provincial armies. Now, just checking on Terentius over here as our unaligned governor. Now, we've already got the 10 forces in here. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7. And how much do we get? 20. So I think they automatically spend as much as they can within a certain combination. But because there's no fleets to worry about here, he'll just automatically buy the 2 armies that he can as per the rules. So that's fine. And now he will return back to Rome, as will his province. So we'll grab Terentius here and bring him back as well. You can reset that term dial. Very good. And it looks like, yes, Papirius has got to come back too. Now, we couldn't do any development there. That remains static, but otherwise Papirius is going to return home. So let's bring that province back. Papirius can now actually remove his away from Rome marker. And please, those returning governors, make sure you grab a returned governor marker. I'll do that for Papirius now, Mark Guedia, just so he can note. That way he can't be forced back out by the Senate unless he is permitting it otherwise. And actually, we should probably put that on. Yeah, it doesn't say how much happened for Terentius, but yes, let's put the mark of returned governor on him as well. That's good. And then finally, I think the other one we need to look at too is Fabius is lined up. He's got to come back. He's got 10 local taxes to spend. I think he's built his maximum armies, and we can build 1 more fleet, I think.
I did it. I accidentally grabbed 2.
Oh, good. So you built one already? Excellent. All right, so let's bring Fabius and Sardinia province back as well. Gee, it's getting busy in the forum, isn't it? There we go. All right, so we can put these governors back out of the way over here. So there's lots for the Senate to think about in this upcoming Senate phase. All right, I think we've sorted all the governors now. We've got nothing else left behind. Okay, we're good. All right, so let's go back and have a look at our cheat sheet just to make sure there's nothing left. Yep, governors' dials are updated. Governors returned to Rome, and contributions were done. Very good. I think we can now move ourselves into the forum phase. So let's bring ourselves in here. Turn 13, forum phase. There we are. And as we know, we're going to go through what we call the initiative steps here. Let's remove those nasty event cards from the forum, of course, which is going to remove both that drought and that internal disorder. Let's rack them apples off. But hopefully we'll get some good ones this time if we have to draw an event. Okay, so we're going to start with the highest ranking available official or officer, and we're looking for a 2d6 roll, and 7 is the number we'll determine events or not. So, Marcus Declus has rolled his 2d6, he gets a 4. So go ahead and draw your card, which he has done. Is it black text or red text, good sir?
It is black text.
Oh, that means it's going to come back out to us. Oh, look at that. It's a senator. That's a nice black text card, I guess. It's Papirius. He doesn't have a particularly good military rating. His orator is not bad. He'll just be numbers in somebody's faction later on, no doubt. And we could potentially be now. We'll have a look. So as we can see, as per the cheat sheet here and the initiative steps, if I go to the correct part of the cheat sheet, you can see here now that we give the opportunity of a persuasion attempt. So would you like to persuade anybody today, their dictator?
Yes, I would.
All right. And who are we persuading?
I will persuade our new card.
All right. We're going to have a go at persuading Papirius. So who is the persuader today?
Cassius.
Cassius is your persuader. All right, so we've got the persuasion calculator up on the screen there. So go ahead and add his 19 influence to the persuader category. We obviously know that the persuadee is going to be Papirius. Yes, he has a loyalty of 7. He's unaligned. And the oratory of our persuader is in fact 3, which is good. And currently that gives us a Target roll 15. We're talking about rolling less than a number. So really we're talking about rolling less than 10 because rolls of 10, 11 or 12 are no good on a 2d6. So right now it's it's not automatic, but the odds are pretty good. But we'll ask you at this point, is there any money that you wish to put through to continue to favour the odds in anticipation that your fellow factions may bid against you?
Not at this stage.
All right, let's just quickly whip around the room. Is there any counter bets from your faction treasury? He's thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put 2.
2. All right, let's go put 2. If you can just put 2 talents, grab a new marker if you need to, and deduct that from your faction treasury, and just put that underneath Papilius. Anything that the dictator puts on as a bribe, we'll put on Papilius's card, and counter bribes we'll put next to Papilius's card. Papilius will get all of these in the end, regardless. So we can now put the counter bribe in as 2, which somebody has done. Thank you. So that brings us down to 13. It hasn't changed the odds of the dictator, but maybe somebody might add to what Aurelius Ingeniarius has done. But we'll see what happens. Quintus Octavius, any counter bribes from your faction treasury today?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment from you. Appius Rufius, counter bribes from you?
Not from me.
Not from you. Tiberius Cornelius, any faction treasury counter bribes?
Not from me.
Not from you. And Mark Guetti, any faction treasury counter bribes? That's a no. With 2 talent counter bribes sitting on Papilius's card and no other bribes, go ahead and roll that 2d6 there, dictator. Just get less than 10. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well done. So you will get Papilius with 2 talents, and you'll be able to adjust your vote tally accordingly for your faction. Well done. That'll bring you up. It's always quite nice to get a new senator added to your faction. Let's talk knights. Who would you like to have a knight today?
I'll have Cassius roll for a knight.
All right. Any money for the cause?
Yes, I'll put in 5.
5. So that's going to be an automatic roll anyway, just to see how you went. And yeah, great. So, he's going to get the extra night. Well done, and you've deducted the fee already. Now, sponsoring any games today?
Yes, I'll be sponsoring the Gladiator Gala.
All right. So the Gladiator Gala costs 18 talents, which I see that the senator had. That'll get him 3 popularity, and that will reduce that nasty unrest level by 3. Thank you, Quintus Octavius, for bringing that down. That's a much better unrest-looking number. Cassius has deducted his purse. He's upped his popularity. Everything is looking swimmingly there. Final question for you is, would you like to change your faction leader today?
No.
No, yeah, sometimes it's a tough choice, isn't it? And we actually saw it work quite effectively for Mark Guetti just before saving Flaminius over there. So she got to keep that card. So that's the power of the faction leader token. Numerus Aurelius, time for your turn. 2d6 when you're ready. 7 is the magical number, which will give us an event. Could be good or bad. Let's see what you get here. Yeah, cool. So you get to draw a card. Grab, type, just one. I think if you hover over the deck and press 1, I think that gets you 1, but otherwise have a look. Black text comes back out to us, red text you'll keep. And just note you are on mute when you do decide to talk if and when.
Yeah, that's a black text card.
That's a black text card. Drag it out for all and Sunder to have a look at. Oh, look.
That's a paddling.
An easy one.
Oh, it's an easy one. Germanic migrations. Oh, boy. It'll immediately create province Gallium Narbonensis once attacked, regardless of the battle result. Oh, there you go. Interesting.
So it seems like my neighbors are moving.
Yes.
They're on the move.
Yes, they didn't like your Roman affiliations. Okay, we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wars on the deck again. Didn't you just get rid of a whole bunch of wars? What is doing? And thank you for that person. Quintus Octavius is now noting a province is under attack. That's good to note. Well done. Let's finish off the turn for Numerus Aurelius. Any persuasion attempts for you today?
I can persuade Terentius, can't I?
Yeah, absolutely. Who would you like to persuade with today?
I guess Junius will go ahead.
Junius is going to do it. So if you want to update that persuasion calculator, 27 as the persuader. What's Junius' oratory is 3 because of the, I guess he has a prior...
I think it was a legion.
You did have a legion? Did has a... I guess it's automatic because it was never really, it's hard to track, right? So, yeah, you get to keep that as far as I'm concerned. It was disbanded. So, through oratory, we'll talk about bribes in a minute. Loyalty of Terentius is 6. He's not currently aligned. I'll ask you the questions up front. Is there any initial bribes that you want to put down?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Let's quickly whip around the ball. Quintus Octavius, counter bribes from faction treasury.
They'll not.
None from you. Appius Rufius, counter bribes.
No, not for me.
Tiberius Cornelius, counter bribes, faction treasury.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Mark Aurelius, counter bribes for your faction treasury. Just checking.
Sorry, I missed the last bit because I was getting a charge cable from the laptop.
Yeah, that's okay. I just want to double check if you want to do any counter bribes against to keep Terentius where he is.
Where?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Numerius Aurelius is looking to persuade Terentius.
Put
Just looking to
twelve
put a
pounds.
counter bribe for
Last
him.
time? I missed the last bit. No, he didn't. No, I will not counter bribe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's all right. Just checking. Marcus Decimus, any counter bribes from you?
No counter bribes today, thank you.
Come on, give him his 2 talents back.
I was thinking about it, I'm like, nah, I'll keep
I was hoping you would.
Yeah, all right. 26, don't get 10 or higher. Here we go. Yeah, that was pretty good to me. Terentius will now enter your faction. Well done.
He has
And he'll take his returning governor token too, just for the records. Where did that
Thank
end
you.
up? I lost it.
That's a good question.
We'll grab a new one. I'll grab a new one. Here it is. It's back.
It's in Germania.
Let's see now. Who'd like to roll for a night today?
I guess Terentius will.
Good. All right. He's not got any money, so that'll be looking for a 6. Not
Otherwise,
I'm not sure if that was in a roll if you watch the animation. Yeah.
Anybody sponsoring any games today? No game sponsorship today? Any change of faction leader?
No, actually, no, thank you.
No, thank you. All right, Quintus Octavius, 2d6 when you're ready, good sir. Oh, look at that. It's an event. So I'm going to go up to the events table here. There it is, random events table. We are in the Middle Republic. So now he's going to roll 3d6 and we'll see what we get. Please not another 3d6, a total of 4. Storm at Sea. Somebody wants to draw that out of the event deck for us, and let's go ahead and action that. Storm at Sea is the one we're looking for. Looks like Appius Rufius or Quintus Octavius is going to have a look. So it's not a good one. There it is. Thank you very much. So for those who are reading their own time, I'll bring it up for those looking at home. 2d6 Roman fleets of the HRAO's choice, deployed or not deployed, but excluding provincial fleets, not provincial fleets, are eliminated up to a maximum of those currently existing. There is no effect on legions throughout, although some may have to be withdrawn to Italy for lack of support. So we've got no deployed at the moment, so that won't be a challenge. Raise phase. This event has no effect on the construction of new fleets. Okay, so this is an instant event that we have to do. So let's roll 2d6, please, Dictator. Let's see how many of our fleets that we have to destroy.
2.
Oh, I think that's nearly all of them. I think it is all of them. Well, bye.
Bye.
That was
We needed those.
that was pretty costly. Thanks, Quintus Octavius.
Welcome, guys.
Let's finish off. Any persuasion attempts for you today?
Nah, I'm
Okay.
Enough.
Not enough. Yeah. Any sponsoring of games or nights?
Knights, yes. Achilles will spend 5 talents.
5 talents at Aurora. We have a knight for Achilles there, and double checking any change of faction leader.
No, it's all good.
All right. Yeah, okay, that was an interesting one. Let's go across to Appius Rufius. Appius Rufius, 2d6 when you're ready, noble sir. Let's see how you go. That's going to give us 3. Draw a card. Black text will come back out to us. Red text you'll keep. Let's see what you get.
It's a red text.
Red text. Oh, that's good. That's a good draw. So you get to keep that. Let's ask you the pertinent questions. Any persuasion attempts for you today?
No persuasion attempts.
He's having a think about it.
No persuasion attempt.
Oh, no persuasion attempts. No, I wasn't trying to convince you. Any sponsoring of any games today?
No, but I would like to make a free roll to
Yes,
attract a
yeah,
knight
do.
with Quinctius Flaminius.
Yeah, certainly. Free roll, looking for a 6 for a knight. Yeah, negatory. And finally, any change of faction leader for you?
No change of faction leader, no sponsoring of games.
All right, here we go. Tiberius Cornelius, 2d6 when you're ready. All right, 7. We're going to go to the random events table again. And 3d6 when you're ready to see what we get. Please, let's get a good one this time. Looking in the middle Republic column. He rolls a 15. New Alliance. Hooray, that's a good one, I think. Somebody wants to draw that one out. Waiting for a new alliance. People are searching. Very good. There it is. We've got it. All right. So, new alliance. A neutral state sides with Rome, shifting the balance of power. The enemy sues for peace. Must be applied to a war or revolt of the HOAO's choice at the end of the Senate phase. The state collects half of any spoils of war. Shuffle the war into the top 6 cards of the deck. If the selected war is pretender province, the revolt is completely defeated. Well, that's some interesting conditions there. The chosen war loses any naval victory marker, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, interesting. All right. So this is a good get-out-jail-free card if there are any more wars that are drawn, because you don't really want to draw more than 6 wars prior to a combat phase or a Senate phase. So something for our upcoming HOAO to think about at the end of the Senate phase. So you have to take that into your deliberations. Let's finish off the turn for Tiberius Cornelius. Any persuasion attempts for you today?
Is there anybody left? No. Nobody.
Okay. Who's rolling for a night then?
Big pardon?
Who's going to roll for a night?
Scipio can?
Scipio can roll for a night. Any money for the cause?
Nah.
Nah, go ahead. Look for a 6. Ooh, so close, but no cigar. Any sponsoring of any games today?
Yeah, Scipio will sponsor a slice and dice.
A slice and dice costs 7. We'll deduct 7 from the personal treasury from Scipio. That'll also give him +1 popularity and remove our unrest level down to 2, which is great. So that's not bad. And finally, I'll ask the question about any change of faction leader for you today.
No.
Okay. I think we're going down to our last person for the forum phase. Mark Garedia, 2d6 when you're ready. To see if a event is drawn or a card. Let's have a look here. We're looking at... Good, you get to draw a card. Grab a single card from the top of the draw deck. Black text will come back out to us. Red text you'll keep.
Red text, I keep it.
Red text, you get to keep it. Excellent, well done. That's good. Let's finish off your turn then. Any persuasion attempts from you today?
Not today.
Okay. Any rolling with a knight? Who would like to roll for a knight?
Plate is going to roll for a night.
Plate is going to roll for a knight. Any money for the cause?
Yeah, 5 to the cause.
5 for the cause. So let's deduct the other way, because you've just added 5 talents to Plateus there. So deduct 10. That'll be better. And then that'll be an auto. So you'll go up to 3 knights now, which will be great. Well done there. Any sponsoring of any games today?
Not today.
And finally, any change of faction leader now that you've saved Flaminius?
No, should I spread the love around?
Normally, I think people often save their most valuable senator with the faction leader token. Unless you're really drawn to Flaminius' haircut, I maybe suggest moving it to one of your more powerful senators, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah, look, I think that's a pretty good choice. Yeah. So he's got 5 oratory, 26 influence, 4 popularity. That's pretty good, right? Yeah, good. All right, and so that will start to wrap up our forum phase. So when we look at our cheat sheet over here, everybody's done everything they need to. Then we're going to put Rome in order. So let's all get a corruption marker for those holding a purple major office token. So grab your corruptions, turn it to the major side. Everybody holding a purple token, reveal all your concessions if you haven't already from the revenue phase, except for those that are only instantaneous on, say, recruiting of ships or legions, whatever it is. So yeah, revealing concession corruptions and major corruption markers for all those with a purple token. So I can help Mark Weddy out, for example. And Field Console needs one as well. Grab him one. Boniface Maximus has got one, good. Rome Console's got one, good. Dictator's got one, good. All right, so everybody seems to have done that. Second Punic War, we've already got rid of that, didn't we? And we've got no active slave revolt. Good. Now we get to see if we can rescue any bung senators or concessions in the Curia. So HRAO, the dictator at the moment. Let's go with senators first. Let's see if we can revive Furious to the forum. 5 or 6. No, he will stay dead. Let's start with Sicilian Grain. No. Land Commission. Yes. Armaments. Yes. So that's pretty good. 2 from 4 again. That seems to be common for us today. Wow, look at that very, very busy forum. There's a lot to think about there. So don't envy the upcoming officers of the Senate. That's quite a bit to do there. All right, we're going to finish again today at the end of the population phase like we normally do. Can I please have all players update their faction vote tallies? So Oratory plus Knights, everybody update your faction vote markers sitting at the front of your zones there. Oratory plus Knights, give a bit of a count, particularly those who've got some new senators today. Everybody is back in Rome right now, so you're counting everybody, Oratory plus Knights, and adding that onto your vote dials. All right, so we're looking at Appius Rufus has got a nice 7, Quintus Octavius with a bolstering 5, Nurius Aurelius looking at 18 votes right now, Marcus Decimus counting 19, Tiberius Cornelius still looking strong at 22, and it looks like Mark Aurelius might be sitting at 23 there, so some really strong vote tallies, which is quite good. All right, so let's go into now. We'll get to update our little marker here from forum phase to term 13's population phase. Look at us advancing through in leaps and bounds. So we now need to add +1 for every drought and unprosecuted wars. So we had 2 unprosecuted wars there, and now we've only got a single drought, I think. Which is from the Sicilian slave revolt over there. I don't think we're going to get any other droughts on the board. So we're up to unrest by 3. So it was on 2. So it should be up to 5. Is my count? Does everybody agree with that?
Yep.
I think that's where we're at. And now we get to hear the good State of the Republic address from the dictator. We'll have a listen to him, and then very shortly we'll then do the calculations and do a bit of a roll. And that will sit us nicely in the Senate phase for when we start up again next session. So, Dictator, over to you for some awesome words.
People of Rome, citizens of Rome, I welcome you here today. Rome is besieged by war. Our brave men of the legions marched out and defeated all that we could find, yet we are still surrounded. I will continue to hold Rome together as we can continue to defend ourselves against these barbarians. Rome will hold. Rome will be the bastion of this new world. Thank you.
Love it.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
Clappity, clappity, clappity. All right, let's do those initial calculations. What's the popularity of a dictator right now? It's 7. 7 minus the unrest is
5. So
plus
+2 to the roll.
All right, so we're going to add +2 to a roll of 3d6. All right, so when you're ready there, dictator, 3d6 plus 2. 10 plus 2 is 12. No change. All right, that's good. That's good. You're going to be pretty happy with that, I think. Well done. All right, so the population remains placid for now. Obviously content with the current leadership, which is good. All right, that will now start to wrap up our session, I think. That was a good round. I'm a bit concerned about the number of wars out there, and I'll subsequently talk about that in the end of the session recap. But for now, we say thank you, gratias, vobis ago to all of you senators playing along here today, and we'll say a walete to you all, and we'll see you all next session. For those watching live, hang around. We'll do our normal end of session recap. But Senators, you want to give us a walete? We'll see you all.
Alete.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. All right, we are back now for our end of session recap for what was session 18 in turn 13. Wow, lots of numbers flying everywhere there. We've just hit the population phase of turn 13 at the end of session 18 with our faction of senators in the Roman Republic, right in the heart of the middle era of what is the total game here. Some interesting cards drawn this time. We obviously saw a huge hit to our navy with the storm at sea. We lost our entire navy there, which was a little bit frustrating. I don't think a couple of the war cards out on there do require some fleet support, so they're going to have to expend some funds to buy some fleets. They've got a good land force at the moment, so that's not too much of a worry, but the treasury is only 90. That's not a lot, and they've got to continue to fund, I guess, all these wars that are out there. But let's talk about wars right now. So they've got 6 wars again. So a little bit untidy, and I'd say unfortunately, it's probably a little bit more difficult than last time. So what this means for them coming up into the Senate phase, which we're essentially hitting when we start up again in their next session, session 19, they must win 3 wars to be able to continue on through. So one of them will be pretty simple. I think, the province that's in rebellion at the moment, Sicilia et Cyprus, Cacilia et Cyprus, depending on whether you want to use a mix of classical Latin or not, that's only a land strength of 2. It does require 5 fleet support, though, which may hinder them in some of the other combats that they might need to face. But that is an easy war to get rid of. So that's one. The others are looking pretty strong out there. So they've got the Germanic migrations, which was new to this turn, an active war that hits straight away. It's worth 15. So that's a huge hit of force that they need to account for. Luckily, it doesn't require fleet support, but that's a massive dedication of force, because in order to get the successful values to make sure that you win, you're going to expend a lot more of your legionary forces there. Now, of course, you've got the Numantine War. It's a strength of 8. It's just become active, having been imminent. It's a part of a Spanish Revolt series. So no doubt I suspect that will be one of the 3 wars that they will target. So you've got the Provincial War, the Numantine War, and then they've got to look at the lesser of evils. So you've got, what's the total calculation for the Macedonians at the moment? So you've got 8 plus 5 plus 6 plus 4, so that's ugly. So that's no good. Third Punic War, you're looking at strength of 14, I think. There's no other cards in the background there, I think. And then you've got Germanic migrations of 15. So I don't know, maybe the Punic War will get a look in. But the issue you have there, of course, is you've got double the amount of disaster and standoff numbers. I don't know if there's any senators on the field at the moment that they could bring in to cancel the Punic Wars. I think Scipio Africanus is still out there. But then you're running the risk of him automatically being consul for life if he wins those. I have to run those numbers to see if he hits that 35. Half of 14, 7, adding 7 influence to 25. I think we're okay there, aren't we? Yeah, so he might be a no. Anyway, some things for the Senate to think about as I look across the board here. Lots of things happening. It's never a dull moment in our Republic of Rome board game playthroughs. So I'm looking forward to very much seeing the upcoming Senate phase. That forum is hugely busy. There is 5 provinces they need to assign governors for, not to mention they need to elect some people into office, think about another dictatorship, sign some concessions. Of course, I think they've still got a Bergamot bequest out there. They do. There it is. So again, they're not going to have an army to be able to send to that, so that'll remain there. And then, of course, they've got the new alliance to think of. So I don't know, maybe with this new alliance marker, they can actually improve their odds. So if they're unsuccessful in 3 combats, they're removing another war anyway, so their numbers might be all right. We'll see how that plays out. Anyway, lots to think about. Very fascinating. Provincial wars to think about too. Yeah, this is why I love this game. certainly lots to do. Anyway, it's been an absolute blast again. Nice quick session this evening, and we'll have, no doubt probably have a slightly longer one next session as we go into the Senate phase. We'll see how long that goes, whether we hit the combat phase or not. But otherwise, until the next session, I'm Decimus Aurelius. You've been watching the Roman Twitch channel here on Twitch, and until next time, Walete.